Hi guys, it's Miss Kaiser. I'm in my office today because we are learning about eighth notes. So, a couple of weeks ago we learned about time signature. Now our time signature is two numbers stacked on top of each other, and we've been working with 4/4. In 4/4, the top number tells you that there are 4 beats in one measure. The bottom note tells us the quarter note gets 1 beat. We know that a measure is the space between two bar lines, and I'm going to map out my 4 beats. Now, we know that a quarter note fills 1 beat, so let's go ahead and fill in 4 quarter notes for our 1 measure. Now, we could go ahead and write a lot of nice songs with just quarter notes, but do we think that that might get a little boring? What if a composer wants to switch things up and try a different rhythm, maybe with some faster notes? Well, you can do that. Now we can enter eighth notes. Wait a second, snack break! Here's an apple. I'm going to cut this apple in half. Now I have 2 smaller pieces of apple that together still make one whole apple. Okay, you might think I'm going crazy, but just trust me, keep the apple in mind. This is going to make sense in a moment. Okay, let's take our quarter note. By the way, the apple was really good. I put some peanut butter on it. Thanks for asking. Okay, so we've got our quarter note. I'm going to cut my quarter note in half. Now, when I cut a quarter note in half, I get 2 smaller notes, and these are called eighth notes. They still take up 1 beat, but they're smaller, 2 halves of a quarter note. You can tell eighth notes because when they're next to each other, they like to hold hands, so we connect them at the top with a horizontal line. Now, what if we took a whole measure of 4/4 and we cut every single quarter note in half? How many eighth notes would we have? 8, that's correct. We have 8 eighth notes, and we still only have 4 beats. Now when you're counting eighth notes, we're going to say the number of the beat and the word and. So the way you would count this measure would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. We still have 4 beats in one measure, but now we've cut each beat in half, so we have 2 eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now let's try to switch things up. What if we wanted to start our measure with quarter notes, but then in the second half of the measure, beats 3 and 4, we wanted to cut our beats in half and have eighth notes? How do you think you would count that? Well, we're going to go ahead and add our ands to beats 3 and 4, and you would count 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Let's try another one. Let's try starting out our measure with eighth notes on beats 1 and 2, and then finishing with 2 quarter notes on beats 3 and 4. Add your ands to those eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Now sometimes when we have 4 eighth notes in a row, they all are going to hold hands, so we connect all 4 of them with a line at the top. We're going to count it the same, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Okay, time to get your instrument. We're going to play some rhythms that include eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4 and. 1, 2, and 3, 4 and. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, and 3 and 4. Nice job! As you can see, we can get a lot of variety in our music by adding eighth notes. Have fun and happy practicing!